It's time for Access the Experts from the University of Nebraska at Omaha with your host, Brandon Axamit.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Access the Experts on News Channel Nebraska, where every Tuesday and Thursday, University of Nebraska at Omaha faculty members answer today's questions facing our state. Now today we have the pleasure of hearing from Dr. Tara Richards at UNO's School of Criminology and Criminal Justice. So Dr. Richards, today's question is, has the Violence Against Women Act worked in protecting women?
Thank you, Brandon, for inviting me to talk about the Violence Against Women Act. The Violence Against Women Act of 1994, or VAWA, has undoubtedly led to better protections for victims of domestic violence and their families. VAWA was the first federal legislation criminalizing domestic violence, or battering as it was called, which sent a strong message that domestic violence should be taken seriously as a matter of criminal law. It is important to remember that for much of American history, the criminal justice system took a hands-off approach to domestic violence, viewing it as a private family matter. But with VAWA, the criminal justice system had a new mandate to protect victims and hold perpetrators accountable. VAWA also provided significant federal funds to train law enforcement officers, prosecutors, judges, and other criminal justice system actors, and to support specialized domestic violence units and coordinated community responses. In addition, VAWA allocated resources to expand important victim services, such as emergency shelters, domestic violence hotlines, victim advocacy, and safety planning services. Since the passage of VAWA in 1994, there have been multiple VAWA reauthorizations, which have continued to strengthen protections and expand the reach of services to more and more victims and their families. For example, the 2000 reauthorization created legal assistance programs for victims and included responses to dating violence and stalking. In 2005, the VAWA reauthorization created new landmark housing protections for survivors, funding for rape crisis centers, and culturally and linguistically specific victim services. And in 2013, the VAWA reauthorization added protections and services specifically for Native American and LGBTQ survivors. VAWA also provides funding for the evaluation of programs and services, and UNO's School of Criminology and Criminal Justice is proud to serve as a research partner with victim service providers and criminal justice system practitioners around the country to ensure that responses work for victims and are cost-effective for jurisdictions. Brandon, many of your viewers know that the current bipartisan VAWA reauthorization was passed by the House of Representatives in March, but is still waiting for action by the Senate. This reauthorization is important because the Centers for Disease Control estimates that more than 1 in 5 women and 1 in 7 men report experiencing severe domestic violence in their lifetime. This reauthorization will invest in important violence prevention programs, expand the restoration of tribal jurisdictions, and close dangerous loopholes in our existing domestic violence-related firearm laws. Folks can learn more about the reauthorization and how to support victims at the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence's website, ncadv.org, and to see how UNO's School of Criminology and Criminal Justice is working to address domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, and other violent crimes, please check us out at unomaha.edu. Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you, Dr. Richards, for sharing your expertise on the topic. Now, for our viewers at home, we want you to interact with UNO's experts. If you have a question you want answered, submit it at newschannelnebraska.com.
Access the Experts, presented by the University of Nebraska at Omaha. If you have questions, submit them on our website and join us on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:46 a.m. while we answer your questions.